Assalamu alaikum. Uh, I'm going to be talking about a video which I happened to see over WhatsApp. This is a video about some men who are inclined towards Hindutva agenda from the Hindu Janajagruti Samiti. They had a discussion wherein some of them are expressing their thoughts over the masjids in India. One of them said that the masjids in India are mostly without legal papers and without legal permissions. And he also accused, saying that the authorities don't take the government approval and permissions. And he said, if this is the case, we can fight the case legally and ensure that the masjids don't come up in the localities. I said, this is okay. This is a good thought. I mean, it is only a thought which says that if anybody is violating the law of the land, if a masjid is being built in a place where the land does not belong to the authorities, then they want to take legal actions. I said, this is okay. This is fair enough. But the Muslims were really worried. I mean, look, we have to be careful and all that. I said Muslims in general, in India and elsewhere, we ensure that we build masjids in a land which is purchased by us through halal means. The money has to be halal, and only then we build the masjid over it. So Muslims are very careful. Whenever we build masjids, we ensure that the land itself is bought through halal money. Halal meaning through money which is earned through ethical means, through lawful ways. We don't take money from the interest, or we don't take money through the wine and alcohol and all this stuff. So we are very clear about the source of income, and then we build the masjids over. And on the other side, on the flip side, we have to see that many temples on the roadsides, if you happen to see the history on the highway and in the parks, if you happen to see the history, you know how it all started. I have seen myself some temples which are quite big now. At some point in time, they were just trees, and some man passing by, he just painted with some saffron color, and then some reddish kumkum is being placed on it. And after a period of time, somebody comes and puts some garland or some agarbattis, the incense sticks are burnt there. And over a period of time, it transforms to become temples. And it so happens that I've come across wherein the government authorities have demolished many number of temples in Bangalore itself. So it is a law for all. It is a law for the Muslims and the law for the Hindus and the Christians. And we don't have to be worried and troubled by this message that in case if anybody starts a masjid or a madrasa on a government land, then it has to be demolished according to the law of the land. That's fair enough. Muslims agree to this point. But what is really worrying is that many times it's not the Hindus who come and trouble the Muslims. You see, it is the Muslims amongst each other of different factions. They have problem with each other, and many times the Muslims from one faction or one group of thinking, they don't let the Muslims from other school of thought to start the masjid in that locality. So this is a real problem. I can quote you many such incidents in Bangalore and elsewhere in India, wherein the Muslims themselves have raised down masjids. In Madanapalli I can quote you, in Bagepalli I can quote you, so many such things. Even in Bommanahalli I can quote you. The Muslims are the ones who stopped the Muslims from starting the masjids. I'm sorry to say this is the fact. I don't care. See, my job is not to please anybody. I just have to speak the facts. On the contrary, if you happen to see in recent times, in Maharashtra, when the Maharashtra's authorities, they went to raise down a masjid, saying that the masjid was built in a government land or something of that kind. When they went to bring down the structure, the building, the non-Muslims, who happened to be the Hindus of that area, they went and protected the masjid, saying that we want this masjid to remain here. And in case you demolish the masjid, they said we will demolish our own temple. Well, this is reported in the Siyasat. I happened to read just yesterday. So what are we talking about? What are we talking about? Preserving the masjids and all that. The Hindus in India, they are pretty well honoring our masjids and our worship places. I think the Muslims and the non-Muslims, the people amongst us who are fair-minded, who are law-abiding citizens, if we come together, the rest of the things can be handled. I say there are a lot of nuisance makers in all the communities, including my own community. People don't abide by the law of the land. They have to be taught lesson. Not that law of the land, it's about justice. No matter what you are going to follow, you should talk about justice, and that is what the Quran says. Irrespective of which nationality you come from, or which color, or which language you speak, we all must adhere to justice, and only then peace will prevail. And this is the message for now. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.